kind of bright. Is my lighting kind of bright?
It's a little bit bright, but we are streaming live.
Out of hello, I guess I'm supposed to do the robot and the bear. Robot and the bear. Robot and the bear song. All right,
Yeah.
hey guys. Well, it's been a while. It's been a,
Yeah.
it's been a while. We've
Well, we've
tried.
we've
Attempts
talked
made.
about it.
We
We've talked about it.
talked
And
about it.
but life gets in the way of Robot and the Bear sometimes.
It certainly does.
I mean, there's stuff that the robot does, and there are things that the bear
The
do.
bear does. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a busy year for both of us.
Yeah. The bear going out of the country a lot. The robot. Well, I'm just kind of sitting around here, but yeah, no, we're busy. We get it.
Yeah, yeah.
We get it. There's people who miss us. So thank you for missing us.
Thank you. Yeah, when was the last time we were on? Did I talk about about going to London and all that stuff, or have we talked about?
I don't know about that. Was it before? I think it was beforehand.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I went to London, had a show out there. It was interesting. London, I don't know if London really likes me. I think there's some people that like me in London, but I think all in all, I don't get no London love, and it's kind of a bummer. But
I think our last podcast was Nathan Ota, by the way.
oh, was it?
That was a long time ago.
Holy shit, that was a long time ago. Oh
Anyway,
my
so
God.
yeah, there
Yeah.
you go. But yeah, London doesn't love you. What happened in London?
Well, I had a show at Dorothy Circus Gallery, and it was a 16 or 14 painting, 14 or 15 painting show, and sales were not great, and part of me is wondering whether or not I was just I did too many, this is what I think of when I think of London, um, paintings,
So do
which
you think people in London didn't want to see paintings that or your sort of view on London?
or England in general. I did I did some paintings about their food. I did some paintings about their colonialism. I did some paintings about their hoity-toityness. Um, I think they're all pretty funny. I thought everyone would get a laugh out of it.
Do you think it's funny to Americans, but maybe not to an English person?
I think English people have great senses of humor. Monty Python.
Benny Hill was a very funny guy.
Yeah, Benny Hill. That was actually one thing I should have touched up on was Benny Hill, but or what was it like? Didn't they have their mag and their newspaper where they I think certain sections or certain pages would always have boobs and stuff.
There was something. I don't know what that is, but yeah, there was something like that.
Yeah. See, I remember trying to stay up late to watch Benny Hill, just when I was a really little kid, just so I could see the boobs.
Yeah, but you didn't really see boobs, right?
I don't remember ever seeing boobs.
I don't think they could show that obviously in American television, but I think the idea is you could fill in the blanks.
Right.
We're creative young men or young people, I guess at the time. We're very creative. We can fill in those blanks, yeah.
Yeah, but I couldn't. No, I needed to see it.
Yeah, but I don't think you were able to see it as
no,
well.
I don't. I think you're right because I don't.
But you remember seeing it.
I think I had people tell me that they saw it. I was just
maybe in England.
What?
Maybe in England. I don't know.
Well, I didn't know people in England back then. Mind you, this was it was also 81, 82, maybe even before that, 79, 78, when I really wanted to catch that stuff. And I kind of feel like at that time television was just this weird wild wild west, right? It was still kind of figuring itself out. It was it was dominated by the three big ones: ABC, NBC, CBS.
Yeah.
Then it had, a couple of like renegade channels.
Like maybe local stuff, right?
Right, yeah. And I think that maybe those channels like took the risks of showing like those, British titties, but I don't know.
All I know is that sped up section at the end where they're chasing each other around.
Yeah.
It was just the best. I don't know. That part was just so funny.
Well, it had the music. You had the music.
Yeah.
And,
And then the part where he slaps the bald guy in the head. You remember that?
I think I do.
He would always slap a bald guy in the head, and it was like slap, slap, slap. And then I remember, so this was bad, but in middle school, junior high school, we would sometimes slap people in the head and go, "Oh, that's a Benny Hill!" Like you got Benny Hilled. Like so.
Wow.
Yeah. We would slap people in the head because he would slap a bald guy in the head, and we would slap people in the head and we would call him Benny Hill. We'd go, Benny Hill. It's so bad, huh? Isn't that bad?
That's pretty great. That's pretty great, especially like if you're like, you're 11, maybe you're, something like that, and like none of your compatriots were bald at the time.
No, so you just get slapped. If you get slapped in the head, you get Benny Hilled.
Yes, it had nothing to do with whether or not you actually had hair or not, because
nothing to do with it. Yeah,
you're 11 or 12, you still had a full head of hair.
Yeah.
Okay,
so for those that, I guess you can always YouTube Benny Hill show. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's better not to.
But the eating was good in England. The eating was great.
Really? So did you eat nothing but Indian food because that's supposed to be good there, or what did you have?
I don't think I actually ate any Indian food when I went out there. I went to Borough Market, had a crazy sandwich out there. Went to
a crazy sandwich.
A crazy sandwich.
How crazy can a sandwich be?
Like I don't know, like just lots of flavors.
Awesome. Okay.
It was good. And then afterwards I went to France and went to Paris.
Okay.
Took the channeled on into Paris, and we stayed at one of Rachel's like family friends' place. So, and it was like located on one of those little islands on the Seine River.
Like San Louis, is that the one? San Louis?
Maybe it's the one.
Is it the one with that church that burned down?
It's the other. There's two little islandettes.
Yeah. One's San Louis, and the other one is the one with the thing that burned down. What is it called? I'm sorry, I'm blowing it. I don't remember what it's called.
I stayed there, and I can't.
Notre Dame.
Yeah,
okay,
so,
the other one is called San Louis. Do you know why?
Why?
Get this. I stayed on that island before.
Oh, really? Lots of ice cream there.
Yes, I have. And yes, there's ice cream. There was even bakeries. There was some tourists. There was all of it, and I stayed on that island.
Yeah. It was great. Like you wake up in the morning and you look to your left, and there's Notre Dame, and you look to your right, and
yes,
there's the a hall. There's City Hall, I guess, or something like that.
But it's small enough you could walk. You could walk it easy.
Yep.
It's kind of nice. It's like a mini town in a town, right? I liked it.
Yeah, it's very cute.
Yeah. No, I dug it. So yeah, I stayed there, and I guess I did something similar. Although I probably did not eat at the great places that you went to. I ate a lot of tourist food.
No, we did that. We did tourist food because you can't just eat great places all the time. You just blow out your palate that way. And but I don't know. I don't feel like I had any particularly great meals on this trip, but
did you just eat a baguette ever?
Oh yeah, we ate.
Those are good.
Ate lots of bread.
Those are good. And do you notice how cafes in Paris, the seats all face one way, which is out to the city? Like you don't face each other. You sit next to somebody, but you're both facing to the town or the city or the rest of the world. Whereas here, it's like the seats are like you're staring at your friend eye to eye, but There, it's no, you're facing out.
Yeah, it's
It's so
nice.
cool.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Like
Like
that.
maybe in LA, there's you don't want to do that. Like you don't want to go look at cars and smog and all this stuff. But
Mhm.
in Paris, oh no, 20 seats will be facing everything else but their own restaurant. Pretty cool, right? Do you notice that? I mean, I
I
remember that
definitely,
everywhere.
of course,
Yeah, and I was like, oh,
it
you can
makes
get
sense.
a you get an espresso or whatever, and you chill out, and you just get this view of beautiful city. Whereas here, no, no
No,
one does that.
well, it's because we don't have a beautiful city.
That's the my point. Yeah, that is exactly where I was getting at. I was hoping that our listeners would draw their own conclusions, but basically, yeah,
No,
I was
no,
trying to make it obvious.
LA is fucking ugly. LA
Yeah, but
is fucking
that's something awesome. Everywhere you go in, at least Paris, I notice the seats always face out.
like. Do you ever like
Yeah.
pity the tourists that come here? Like, it's like sad. Like why the fuck would you want to actually come? Um,
Yeah, I know, right? I feel bad.
like it's like what? Why?
Yeah.
It's a shithole. You know? I mean, like it's. I love this shithole.
I
I'm
like
happy
it
to be.
here,
I'm.
but yeah, I always feel bad when I hear where they go and I'm like, "Oh, like, oh, you went to the Walk of Fame in Hollywood and
Mhm.
and even I mean, gosh, I used to enjoy Venice Beach kind of, and then I'm kind of like, oh, I wouldn't want to even go to Venice Beach, and I don't enjoy it now. And it's like there's all these things that I'm just like, oh, all this is made just for you, but it's not really Los Angeles.
No,
It's made
well,
for tourism.
tourism, but like I, whenever like I'm traveling to like say Europe or Asia or something like that, like I'm greeted with great public transportation and relatively affordable ride share, like cabs or like gig whatever like ride share things, and you just don't have that here in Los Angeles.
Well, it just costs a lot to get across town. But do you think it's a matter of us just being here for so long and we're just thinking everywhere's better but here? And then people come here and they're like, and then people come here and they're like, well, I'm from Reno or Fresno or whatever. And they're just like, this is amazing. Santa Monica Pier, amazing. You know,
I
like
mean,
Hermosa
shopping,
Beach Pier, amazing.
the shopping here is like growing up in Fresno, living in San Luis Obispo. The shopping in like LA is way better, right? Like if something there's something I want to get, I know it'll show up here eventually.
Right.
Uh,
Hmm.
you don't have those guarantees in like say San Luis Obispo
No, no,
and
no chance. No chance even.
like I think that
I,
is.
that would be a person who went there on vacation and forgot it in their hotel room and it showed up on OfferUp,
But the thing is,
right? It wouldn't be
now that you can order buy anything and everything basically off the internet,
yeah.
like you know, like what's the point?
I don't know. For me, I guess going places, yeah, I don't know. But I think for me it's less about the sights, but for me it's just still sometimes I don't do anything. I go somewhere else and I don't do anything, but I still have a good time. Like I'm just like, oh, this was great. And what did you do? I stayed within 4 blocks of my hotel and I didn't even go anywhere. And I'm just like, you know what? I had a great day today in Japan, right? I've done that a few times where I just do that sometimes and I dig it. So I don't know. Maybe it's just where I don't know, just being in a different place is always rad.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not sure. Maybe they feel the same coming from somewhere else, but I don't know. I have a hard time seeing it here.
sure. Well, I think that another thing is, of
Oh,
course, like the say the art shows, right?
we're a little better than maybe someone else's town.
I think we're better than most of the country.
Right.
I think that
Yay.
like
I believe that too.
I think the only kind of competition we might have is probably New York. Like
Yeah.
last weekend was gallery opening hell. Like I could think of 4 openings that were happening on Saturday.
Hmm.
You had an
Hmm.
opening. Um,
Oh, the greatest one of all time. Yes.
It's the greatest one of all
Oh,
time.
okay.
Sure. And
No, you had one, right?
KP Projects had one, ThinkSpace had one, and Corey Holford.
Yep. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I ended my evening at Corey Holford where I had a painting for the
Congrats.
Kirby.
Congrats. That Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Yeah, I did the
That's
Fantastic
amazing.
Four painting. That was pretty fun. That was kind of tedious to work on, but
That one, it looked so good. Wait, what's the size of that painting?
this is 11 inches by 4 inches.
Wait, 11 by 4?
11 by 14, I'm sorry.
Oh, 14. Okay.
Sorry, I'm
Oh,
giving
okay. I don't know why it looked like it'd be bigger.
yeah, I didn't I just didn't want to take that kind of risk.
Oh, it looks really great though when I saw it. I told you when I thought it was actually a collage. You know? I actually thought that you took artwork already done or blew up artwork already done and just painted your bare thing in it and you didn't paint the other 3 characters.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I mean I traced it all. I
No,
definitely
but still, I just thought you did some print. You just made a print of Kirby art and then you just painted one character on it.
no, I'm
It looks
I'm
really good.
not that good. I'm not that good. I'm not that good at freaking like doing that kind of stuff. No,
It looks
that's
amazing.
so. But yeah, and you had who was your
Maggie Chang? Maggie
yeah
Chang? Yeah.
yeah you went all out for that. You had bonsai
No.
there.
We yeah, we had bonsai plants that are
It
probably
was
more expensive than
catered.
her art and some catering. Yeah.
Yeah,
Catering and some bonsai plants that were literally I think if you add up all 3, yeah, it's worth more than all of her artwork.
wow.
Yeah.
I didn't real. I don't even know what the price of bonsai.
Oh, I mean, I think the one in that the very first one that you'd see when you walk in
The island.
was probably was between $10,000 and $20,000. That
Oh
one,
shit.
yeah, just that one, and then there was 2 others, and I don't know what the value is, but I asked the guy on Monday. I said, hey, is this like 10,000 or 20? He goes, oh, it's above 10 for sure, and
Oh, if I
um,
recall, it was kind of a big bonsai.
it's a good looking one for sure, and it has like a part that's dead, I guess you would say, like a bark part that's dead, and then there's a plant growing out of it. It's just really cool looking,
Is
and it's
the
really good looking.
isn't the size kind of doesn't it betray the idea of the bonsai tree?
It wasn't that big. It's still carryable. You
Like
carry it.
shouldn't it be
It's
like
a
this big?
tree.
Like
Oh, that's some Miyagi shit. That's the cheap Miyagi bonsai. This is real. No, no, but these trees are ones that you can carry physically. They're not that heavy. You could just carry it and walk around,
and
and no big deal. So you are carrying a tree like a as if it's a baby or something.
so she worked with them. I think that's what.
Oh, she, well, one she does. She has a vivarium, I think it's called. Like just basically like a big indoor. I don't know, man, an indoor plant thing. It's like a IKEA IKEA glass case that's hacked into a kind of a I don't know, like a terrarium or something, right?
Is
So
is
she
this
has one of those.
is this
Hmm?
something she does or is this
Yeah, it's like a
art that
hobby.
she does?
It's like a hobby. Then she loves that nursery where she gets supplies, and then she meets bonsai master Kyle is his name. He's like the grandson of the founder of that nursery,
Hmm,
and then he's a fan of her art. So she did a T-shirt for the nursery that you could buy there,
how
which
cool.
is kind of cool. And she actually on the bonsai she drew a bonsai on the back of the T-shirt
Mhm.
and said, "This is my favorite one." So she actually drew it, and then he just said, "Oh my god, that's literally my favorite one." It's like,
Aw.
and then so like it's one that he said, oh, he goes, "I actually worked on this one a bunch, but it's one that existed before he was alive even." But he
Mm.
said he works on that one a lot, and so that's his favorite one. It's a really cool looking one. So she drew that on the back and picked it. There's just a lot of serendipity and I just asked for just I was like, hey man, maybe we should show some bonsai with Maggie's show, and he was like, he was totally into it.
Oh, that's nice.
And then he said we'll do more stuff at some point soon. So,
And there was no bonsai from my shows.
well, you have wait, when was the last show again?
2 years ago.
Like 5 years ago. It's time for another one. God, it's just that time. Anyway,
I will try and see what I can be able to do for you, man. You know, I like
we'll bring some. We'll bring something else back.
you know, do some graphite stuff. It'll be fun, and
Awesome.
you know,
Awesome.
you know, but what, but do you think like how do you feel about like you know, where was I going with this?
Uh-oh, are you doing a Biden?
I, you,
COVID. Oh no.
it's time to find a replacement for me.
No, I felt so bad watching that. But anyways,
Oh my God,
regardless. Okay,
that was
we got a
so
comment.
go.
I know. We have a comment from Vlacinda who says, "Yay, you guys are back."
We are back. We've
Ooh.
never been gone.
Yeah, it's true.
We just you know sometimes you get robot, sometimes you get bear,
Right. Or
Yeah.
sometimes you get none.
and sometimes you get none.
So what are you working on these days, Luke? Because I always every time I see I'm looking at your studio, I guess,
Mhm.
and I don't get an idea of what you're working on. I see 2 canvases on the table from Blick.
Yep, some Blick Camp. I'm transitioning from panel to canvas, because
Wow.
the rest of the world likes canvas more than they like panels.
What do you think about that?
Um,
Like when you put enough gesso on it, you can't even tell.
sure. I don't mind. I really don't mind. It is lighter. It is less delicate. The problem with the panels that I use ampersand panels. There's one
Mhm.
here. I use
Yeah.
these things, and um, like the corners chip so easily. Like I've seen so many of my paintings, while I'm working on them or on people's walls where the corners are chipped because like life accidents happen and
Gotcha.
then I'm stuck like and then they'll kind of look at me like, hey, do you mind fixing it?
How do you fix that?
I
Oh, you just
use
paint it or something?
I use like a little bit of acrylic medium or like some hard paste, and I'll
I
fill
see.
it and
Gotcha.
sand it a little bit, and then I'll
Repaint it.
and then repaint it. Yeah, and then
Wow.
so
Gotcha.
it's a little bit of work.
So with the purchase of a Luke Chu art comes the lifetime while you're alive guarantee that you will fix a problem. That everybody listen.
No,
You got that right.
oh nope. I've only done that,
Oh.
but I've only done it like twice, and
But if somebody else asks, you'll do it. So make sure you ask. If you have a damaged Luke Chu art, he'll fix it for free anytime you ask.
yeah, no, but that'll be it. That'll be it.
Okay.
I'll do it once, but
Oh, one more. Whoever has a damaged one, hurry up. Contact Luke. You get a freebie. After that, it's going to cost you.
or what they could do is they could fly me out and to wherever they are and like put me up for a couple nights or a night, feed me, and I'll fix it.
So you're going to go to Anus, Idaho to fix this a painting in Idaho?
I would love to go to Idaho.
Anus, Idaho. It's called.
Is there a
it's
place
town
called Anus?
No, I'm just making it up.
Like, I've never been to Idaho. Have you been to Idaho?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. See, like, why are you talking shit?
Yeah, because I feel like it. Bring it on, Idaho. Defend yourselves.
This is your California pretentiousness, John?
That's right. That's right.
Why they hate us, This is the reason why they hate us. You are the problem with this country.
Do you know anyone in Idaho?
I probably have met people from Idaho.
No. I'm just kidding. I'm like, no. Probably so. Anyways.
I know. I find like the Midwest in general to be fascinating.
Do you know what I'm fascinated by is Appalachia or Appalachia. Like,
right.
Because that's a place that if I went, everybody would act different. So I would never understand what it's really like there, right? If I went there, people would be like, oh shit, like, who's that, right? They'd be looking at me weird, and they wouldn't act like, if I were a white dude, I'd walk in, they would just be like, "What's up, man? What are you doing over there?" And I'll be like, but you know what I'm saying? For me, I'd become like they're, it'd be all weird.
Well,
I wouldn't be treated the same. So
I think you get
I would,
that same like thing in small towns across,
yeah,
California.
yes, for sure, because those, yeah, for sure, but not as much as Appalachia.
Uh,
I don't think they've ever seen a nation there.
you're probably right. You're probably right.
Yeah,
I
maybe not.
I think the Appalachian Mountains. I don't know. It doesn't quite as appeal to me. Like I think whenever people think of the Appalachian Mountains, we think of what's that movie called? The dueling.
X X Files, where there's inbred.
No, the dueling banjo one. Reverence or
Oh, wow, I forgot what it's called.
yeah
My bad.
yeah
Yeah, yeah.
up right now because I
I
just
forgot. Yeah, I don't know, but there's a lot of, baggage like inbred stuff, which is probably BS. So, I mean, there's some, but there's probably some everywhere. There's a ton
deliverance
in Japan. Yeah,
deliver.
Deliverance. There's a ton of inbred in Japan for that matter. So I don't, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like it's
I'm
everywhere. So
sure it's the
whatever.
same way, and like from I understand, I remember I used to watch these videos on YouTube about like Americans, white Americans who lived in China, and they would be like traversing like all these different like areas of China, and like the racism was like pretty brutal, and it
Yeah.
was like pretty like it had that Appalachian kind of like feel about it.
Yeah. No, it's just rural. I just probably it's just the exact opposite of what's going, or similarity, just opposite people.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like and these guys they would like step into like hotel rooms, and it would just be cards of or prostitution rings and stuff like prostitution services and stuff like that all over the place. And but the thing is that prostitution is illegal in China, so it could be like a setup to
Oh. Oh,
um
it's illegal there?
apparently
Oh, I didn't
apparently
know.
I mean I'm sure it happens. I mean, but then again, like like crazy shit happens over there. Like I remember I was just somewhat recently watching a video about like women being kidnapped from large cities and then brought to small towns where they would just do terrible things to them and make them have children and all this other stuff. Could be like I don't know remnants of like that one child policy where you know
Damn.
women were and I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, that's a thing. And I guess, like isolated pockets of any country would just be a little bit
Yeah.
sketchy. And so and but like I don't know, like don't you think about I think about stuff like no, like Skyline Chili from Cincinnati. Like that's kind of one of my bucket list foods. Like
Skyline chili?
yeah, it's the one where they serve like pasta noodles with a big scoop of chili and a big mountain of yellow cheese.
I'm in.
it sounds
That sounds amazing.
it
Yeah.
sounds amazing to me. Like
Yeah.
I
That sounds
want
good.
that. I want
That
that.
sounds good.
It kind of
That's regional probably for that area, I assume, or
I
something
think it's
special.
regional, but I also like someone was telling me that they might have a play the restaurant that started on might have a spot in Las Vegas, but
Oh wow.
it's not the same. Speaking of,
Mm.
I went to New York. Um, whatchamacallit,
Oh, you went to 5 Points.
I went to Five Points. I did 5 Points.
Yeah. So
It,
wait, 5 Points is a toy like a designer con, more of toy figures only. Is that kind of 5 Points? More
yeah,
so just toy figures?
it was a toy figure thing, and
Okay.
it was kind of like Designer Con, and
Right. But
uh,
smaller, I take it.
way smaller, way smaller.
Okay.
Very it has a very mom and pop kind of feel to it.
Oh,
Well,
where does it take place? Like in a like a gym, basketball gym type of size or smaller?
maybe even a little bit smaller. Like I don't know. I grew up around pretty large basketball gyms, but like it had like maybe like a space where you like took out like one side of the bleachers, and you know
Mm,
that floor. It was a I don't know. It wasn't small, but it wasn't like you know big. It's not like
right.
and
Is it like a size of a tennis court? I don't know.
bigger.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But either way, it's like that. It's not like some. It's not even. It's not like a bedroom size. It's a bit. It's there's like what 20 vendors, maybe 30.
A lot more than that. A lot,
Okay, then that's good.
like maybe like 40 main tables and like a bunch of like artists like alley-ish tables.
Oh, good. Okay,
But
awesome.
people were it was interesting to me because like say like maybe 5, 6 years ago, maybe 10 years ago or something like that. Like I remember when Safubi was like the hot thing. Like everyone was just like, "Oh my God, Safubi!"
Right.
Ah,
They still do that? I mean, I don't know if COVID kind of wiped out everybody's slate and we're starting over type of thing,
I-
but
it's. I mean, depending on I guess it depends on the producer, right?
right. Yeah.
Like, I think Mutant Vinyl Hardcore. I don't know whether or not you've heard of them. Like
I've heard of them. Yeah.
they had like I think they were doing a raffle, and I happened to be walking around while one of the raffles were happening, and there was this. It seemed like everyone who was at the convention center was like in front of their booth.
Wow. Is that are they from out there or are they from like out here?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure, but I do follow them, and I like
Wait, are these tattooed dudes with beards
most
and
likely
black t-shirts?
bald.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's sort of there's a look, right?
There is a look.
Right? There's a
There,
kaiju American kaiju fan look, and I was kind of getting at what they kind of look like. I mean, this is stereotype maybe, but tattooed dude, facial hair,
facial
bald.
hair.
There you
Good
go.
chances of our wearing glasses,
Mm.
wearing a hoodie. But yeah, that was definitely. Hold on, I'm sorry. Getting
So
weird.
mutant vinyl hardcore. It's called. Okay.
Right. Yeah, me and Vinyl had a thing, but like, there was another guy. Honestly, it's probably the first time I've ever heard of. I've heard of them called Fifth Turtle,
Oh, I
and
don't know who they are.
yeah, and they were doing like resin figures,
Oh,
like small double cast, really nice looking, like resins, and they had a line. I think people were camping out for them,
wow!
and
Congrats. That's
um,
great.
as soon as the doors opened, like on the first day, we were sitting there and just watched this line, like kind of going from outside all the way in front of my
Wow.
and to their booth, and I was just like, wow, like
Do
oh,
you think they would have the same reception at a decon, or do you think that's like a regional, like they're popular in New York or popular in the East Coast?
I'm not sure. Like I've
Yeah.
seen resin kind of like you know like get big in decon. Like I started noticing like kind of a resin thing happening,
Was
say
it clear resin type of stuff?
like clear resins,
Gotcha. Okay.
double pours, where like they're pouring clear resin on the outside, they're pouring something else on the inside, and
Uh,
doing all kinds of
people
effects.
are people are become creative and good at this stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
because it's
Like
resins, everything is super limited edition because you can only like a mold will only produce so many of them before the mold goes bad. And then like it requires resin in general is just such a laborious medium. Like you're sitting there like trying to buff out like seam lines and flash it and
right.
flash and
Yeah.
and you don't want any like divots or whatever, especially on the clear because all of that stuff.
Maybe like shitty bubbles.
Right. You have to have
Maybe
all.
there might be good bubbles, but there's shitty bubbles you don't want, right?
Well, the good
That sort of look like piss bubbles, like when you pee and there's bubbles on the side of the toilet and you're like, no, that's not the good bubble.
That's not the good bubble, yo.
The good one is trapped inside like amber. You know,
I don't even know if they like bubbles in
I don't
resin.
know.
I've never seen
Uh,
intentional bubbles, bubblage.
but in amber it looks good. Anyways, but
Yeah.
so
But yeah, so
did
like
you
that was
had
really hot for some reason. And
did you have a line?
I had cluster. I had a little bit, not a little bit, not really
I
like
mean, you being from the West Coast, it's a little bit of a rarer visit for you.
sure, but I'm also not playing that like ridiculous, stupid limited edition game. Like I'm, like doing stuff with like companies in fucking China where I'm producing, hundreds of pieces,
Gotcha.
as opposed to like 10. And
But you are motherfucking Luke Chu. I don't know. There's something to that.
well, again, I don't know, but I think that um, I don't know, like I'm also an old timer now, so
Yeah, maybe. Does that matter? Like, is Paul Kaiju a big deal at 5 Points? Was he there?
I didn't see him there.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see him.
I
He
mean,
could have been there, but
he's kind of an old timer, right?
yeah, but
I
his
mean,
sculpts
he's been
are.
around.
He's been around. His sculpts are freaking amazing, though. Like he's an amazing
Yeah,
sculptor. It's like
sure.
him and James Groman. James Groman is like, he does like he's an old timer. Like that guy's been like designing and sculpting toys since I think like the 90s. Like
Wow.
he's been doing like and working for large companies. Like I think he did
Yeah.
stuff for what was that one where it was like monster balls?
Yeah, I never bought those, but I know what you're talking about.
They were a little bit after our time,
Sure.
but like I think he sculpted those, and he's done a lot of stuff. And
Yeah.
now he's kind of doing like the indie circuit, and he's doing
Cool.
productions for Mondo and stuff. Really nice guy, but um, yeah, I think that I don't know. It was interesting. Yeah, it was interesting. I thought it would be bigger because I felt like it was like the West Coast, the East Coast's like you know,
Decon.
decon, but like
And it wasn't, right?
it wasn't. And I think
Hmm.
in August, there's another convention called Collected Con happening
In Chicago.
in Chicago.
Yeah.
Um,
Are you
I
going?
no, not this year, simply
Hmm.
because of
Oh,
the
it's a
fact
first year, correct?
the first year. But I also have plans. I'm doing a convention in Singapore called put on by like the Pop Mart people.
Right. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so
Damn.
an excuse to go out to Singapore.
You are just going to the source. Way to go.
I love Singapore. I
Yeah, but
don't love the weather.
that's cool.
I've got friends
Yeah.
there.
It's humid and hot all year round, so yeah.
It's so hot out there.
Yeah. I
But,
understand. But that's cool. What's that one called in the one in Singapore?
like I don't know. I can't
Hmm.
remember. Pop Mart Toy Show or
Hmm.
PMT? Is it PMTS? Pop.
But then so Collected Con is a new one, right? That's happening. And then I guess isn't there another one? I guess that's no. Then there's Decon going to be in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That's in November.
Right.
So I guess the idea is there's just more as the toy scene kind of sort of like spreading just a little bit, or is it just people in their town saying, you know what, we need to have an event, like we should do it, and who's going to do it? Well, we have to. I mean, it might not be big, but I'm just wondering if that's just what it's like.
Sure.
Yeah,
I really, I'm glad that these things are happening, and I wish them all the best of luck. I wish I had the time to do the Chicago one, but the truth of the matter, like I also have like group shows that I'm participating in, and I've got a pretty big show in Melbourne in Australia
cool.
in November.
Are
So
you going?
I'm hoping to go. Yeah.
Wow, cool.
I've never been south of the equator, so
Ooh, I don't think I have either. Is Costa Rica south of the equator?
I don't know.
I don't know either if that is. That's probably the furthest south I ever went. I
Hmm.
don't know if it is. Is it? It might not be. I don't think it is.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna say no
no, it's
without
not. I don't think
without
it's.
looking at a map. Without looking at a map, I think it does not. It's not. It's not even.
No, I think it's pretty close.
I don't know. Okay, but sounds good, man.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm googling Costa Rica south of equator.
Oh, you don't have to.
It's 10 degrees north of the.
Hey,
Yeah,
see, I was there.
close. I think the southernmost point I've probably been to is Singapore. Like that feels, I don't know, feels kind of close to me.
Hmm. It
Oh,
could be.
you know, especially with all the tropical fucking weather that it has.
So, are you gonna have a schedule of conventions? Is that sort of the idea?
No, no, no.
No. Okay.
Uh,
I wasn't sure if you. I mean, are you planning this next year where you're gonna? I'm gonna do 6 conventions versus whatever you do in a year, 3 or 2 or something.
I only usually do one.
Yeah, but
Uh,
I was wondering if you're stepping it up.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
stepped it up. I'm stepping it up this year only because I have the production figure for
Yeah, but then won't you
for
be have
mobility.
different ones? You'll have different ones next year, right? So yeah, I was wondering if you're going to keep it up, and is that like
Well,
part of the plan?
um, I don't know whether I'll have
Yeah,
like many. I've got. When I did this first one, I had a total of 5 colorways, and I've released 3 of them so far. Um, and so which means I've got 2 more, and I plan on kind of like letting them out, you know, across the rest of the year. I'll probably do another one in September, and I'll do the final one in November. Though I do have some ideas for a sixth and final colorway, or maybe I don't know. I was talking to 3D Retro about doing something exclusive for designer too, but I don't know. And
mm.
3D Retro, well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I would love to kind of start, going developing design by um, that I could show off by November.
Make a robot in the bear figure. You think you should just do it? Do it.
Do it.
Go.
Do it.
Go. Do it. Do it.
Do it.
It'll be Luke Chu production. You can do it. Do it.
I think it should be a co-production, Eric.
Fine, but you should do it. Start. You have the means. You have a in your next room back there somewhere, and one of these back rooms is a guy who can do it all in 3D tomorrow.
Dave Bondi is my studio mate. He
Yeah,
is
and
my
he can
sculptor.
do 3D. He's got a good sensibility.
Well, I mean, like here's the
Here's the
thing.
skinny.
Here's the thing, Eric. We have to be a little bit more regular on the podcast.
Wait a second here. We have like 85 episodes in the can. This is 86 or 7 right now.
Across 6 years.
Do you know how many don't even make it to 10? Most. We paid already. We paid some dues. But you're right. It has to be regular, but the figure, there's Giant Robot, there's Luke Chu together. That's a
Would
mash.
if you're willing to collaborate
It's a powerful mash. I think we should. Yes. Let's do it.
should we do a Japanese vinyl thing? Should we get it on the queue for
Do we do that or do we go straight to China?
well,
Pew,
now there
pew,
is
pew.
a minimum order thing,
Of what? 100?
probably more than that.
Probably 100. It can be done. We can
Also,
do it.
like all the tooling for molds, like that's like 10 G's right there. So
No. It's less.
for the parts, the number of parts that we're going to need for this,
It's all done in 2 parts. It's all good. I know it's gonna be. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's probably like 6 or something. 6. I
like
don't know.
if we do the T-shirt design, um, like I wish we could be able to pull the illustration up right now.
Oh come on, it's easy for everybody to find. But yeah, okay. Well, we'll talk about it. We should do it. So wait, the last bit, I guess, because we're on. Well, we're on for like 45 already.
hmm
Let's talk about the. Is there an art recession? That's the question. Is there an art recession?
If there is, I'm feeling it, man. I'm
Is there an art recession? Because that's something to talk about. I think I don't know if I'm not trying to stir up. What do you call it? Like paranoia about it? Because but it's out there, right? Like does everybody knows, right? It's not like we're just talking about it, but it's not some secret, right?
no, it's not a secret.
Okay.
I definitely think there's an art recession. I I got lucky in the sense that like because I did this production toy and like it's relatively affordable, considering like um I'm staying afloat. I guess like we'll find out how things go after November because I think a lot of people are potentially like shying away. Like, well, first of all, there's the recession in China.
Yeah, yeah. Is that like getting better or is that just getting worse? I
I
have no idea.
I have no idea either.
I just know that every buyer of art from China that I've ever worked with
Failed.
and sold art to bailed and are ghosting. Like they're not even replying, not even saying, "Hey, I can't right now." Blah blah blah. They don't even reply.
Mm,
Like they're not saying anything. They're just not replying.
maybe
Even if you write to them, geez, just
firewall. Maybe the Great Firewall is freaking like blocking out your, you know.
it's not just mainland China. There's the ones in Hong Kong and Taiwan. They mostly don't write back either. They don't write back for the most part.
Mm,
So there's been this, like I noticed that like they're just gone. So
mm.
yeah, yeah. No, that's been maybe that's not new. That's I want to say 6 months. It's been like that maybe
Oh, really?
or more, maybe more around there though. Oh, six
How
months, maybe six
long is
months or
that?
yeah, 4 to 6 months. No, when they're just not replying. It's been like 6 months maybe.
Wow.
I think I got a reply from some in November and December last year, but yeah, I think there's none now.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So that, but I don't think that's irregular. I think that's probably the same across the board for most, and I mean, they're not, it's just a matter of people talking about it or not talking about it. But I think that's just my experience. And that's just the ones that I'm noticing.
Well, like
They disappeared first.
my show, like my if my show in England is any like you know like metric, then like yeah, there's definitely a fucking recession.
Mm.
And it's kind of like I don't know. I had some I was told that some collectors were complaining about my pricing. Um, I
But
don't feel like
it's consistent, right, with what you normally do,
yeah. I think I thought it was,
right?
but like apparently like in 2 years they don't want you to like raise your prices. Uh,
Oh,
and I always raise my prices like especially when I had a successful year. And last year I had a successful year, and this year, like just kind of feels a little light on the sales, you know.
oh, yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, like I don't mind. I don't mind getting these paintings back because I'm sure I could be able to like you know reinsert them into other events, especially locally.
I guess it's hard for us to even determine. I mean, how long is this going to be for?
Well,
Like is this the thing that's going to end in Christmas time and people are going to be like, you know what, I'm going to buy shit, or is it not? Like I'm not sure. Does that continue?
do you think that the election is going to like be
Maybe,
an important metric?
could be, yeah. Or maybe that is the metric. I'm not sure. I
Like,
can't tell
like do
because
you?
it's happening without the election happening yet. Kind of just it's been happening, and then now it's going to get into some gear right now, right? The all the campaigning. It's going to
Right.
start at least from now. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
There's a lot of talk about like Biden, like pulling out too. So that like really will kind of up a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like it's hard for me to like even
Well,
guess that kind of stuff.
as a gallery owner, what do you feel? Like, do you feel that like
Oh,
uh,
definitely the higher end sales are not happening. And my higher end isn't as high end as all your other gallery friends, I guess you'd say.
Mm.
Mine are lower, but yeah, I'm noticing the higher end is a little bit more difficult to sell
Right.
for
Right.
sure. Like that's an obvious. I'm starting to. I've been seeing that, and that's been happening for a bit. I mean that's happening probably with everybody. Lower end stuff, but my lower end is lower than everyone else's lower end, so maybe there's some sales still happening there. But but yeah, I do notice that anything that's higher than let's say $500 is slowing down.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah,
mm, yeah.
yep. Even no matter who it is, yeah, I'm noticing it's a slower. I'm seeing a little bit of a slowdown.
Mm,
And but it's like one of those things. Well, what do I do? It's like I keep going, right? I keep going, but I'm not sure of like what. Yeah, I don't know what if there's an endpoint in sight or is there a plateau happening. I have no idea. But I mean, if the stock market's an indication, I mean that keeps going up. That part's going up.
right.
But I think I spoke with uh who's our friend who works at Disney who was on one episode.
Scott Tolson.
Sorry. No, another one. Animation, maybe Disney animation. I feel bad. He listens to the pod. He was on one episode too. You
Gee.
know, he's got glasses, baseball hat, maybe a little bit of facial hair, and
Scott Tolson.
does no, another one. Oh, I'm sorry, man. It is gonna come to me too late. Anyways, he told me that he said part of the slowdown time coincided with the animation layoffs in the animation industry. Like, what's it called?
Oh,
Cartoon Network closing down. Andrew Brandow, that's who it is, Andrew Brandow. But he told me, yeah, Cartoon Network closed in December or November or December, and then that's 400 people that were out of work, or at least at that moment, and then that's 400 possible customers that are exactly
don't
my
fucking
customers.
buy other people's art.
What's that? Yeah,
Art,
maybe
no.
not.
Like illustrators, like
Yeah, but these are people in animation, not just artists. These are probably people in all the fields that are customers, possibly, right?
right, right.
Yeah, maybe, and there you go.
I know
There's
that like
people out of work. So I don't know. That could be that. There's a lot of reasons, but yeah, I don't know what the plateau is or
well, a lot of
when,
people from Google have been fired. A lot of people from like the
shoot,
tech business have been,
yeah,
uh,
video games too. Video games, right? There's layoffs and
like
maybe it's
I think I mean, like you're like literally like down the street from Riot Games.
there's a lot of layoffs there. I
A
think a
lot
lot.
of jobs
Yeah,
there. I know people who from Google who got fired. People from from Meta who got fired.
right.
Like
Yeah,
those are the people that like I feel would have bought like
sure. I
um,
mean, these are just like, yeah, people, maybe they're not in the art part of it, but they like the art part of it. They're, it's part of their lifestyle. But
sure.
yeah, those are people that are out. And maybe, it's like, I don't know, it's like the uncertainty of it. Maybe it just kind of makes everybody paranoid. It's like, well, I got my job, but maybe I should hold on to my dollars. Maybe. I'm not sure. I
Right.
have no idea. But, these are all just lame hypotheticals. Maybe some of it's right, maybe some of it's wrong, but I just know that it's kind of happening. But
Mm,
yeah, at least in art, I think it's in art. I mean, because people are still going to go to restaurants, they're going to party, they're going to drink. That's you know what I mean.
actually,
But
from
then
what I understand drinking has like died down significantly too. I've
you
been
know,
reading articles about like how like the younger generation are just not as like
oh,
gung ho about going out to bars and
they're going to buy that $8 boba, and they're going to eat that $8 dessert, that crepe, that you know what I mean. That
yeah,
crepe line is
fucking
long.
Millette fucking has Millette the dessert place across the street from Giant Robot, or is GR2, or literally a couple shops away from the bookstore. Yeah, that place always has a fucking
Long
no.
line at night, and man, that's like an $8 ass crepe. And I don't know, man. I've had it, and it's all right,
It's
but
all right. I've had it.
but
It's all right. I've had it.
I don't know.
One, and
It's
I never felt the need to have my own.
yeah, but there's $8 bobas. Those are still busy. Eight.
I don't know though. Like I always kind of see a lot of like these boba places go in and out of like you know.
GR by GR, there's a whole bunch though. But they all seem to be okay.
Well,
They're all
like
doing
Bang
business.
though, the one that had my favorite, pineapple mountain tea. Uh,
It rebranded. It's the same owner evidently. He didn't want to pay the. I heard he didn't want to pay the licensing fees for the name, whatever it was,
oh,
Yifang.
yeah.
I
Mhm.
heard it's the same guy.
Hmm.
So I don't know if he has that same flavor, but he might.
You know what place
It's
always kind of trips me out, and it's been there this entire time. Is a sushi place like between GR2 and Mizu 212. Um,
Hide Sushi, the one that's been there a
oh
long
no,
time.
not Hide Sushi, the
Tsujita Sushi.
Sujita Sushi.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like that place has
yeah.
been there forever, and like
Been
I've
there a while.
never seen people in there.
Uh, there are people go. It's expensive. Well, it used to be more expensive. I heard they lowered their prices and made what do you call it, like more omakase type of things, but less expensive. I don't know what that means, but that's what I've heard.
Mm,
But I know it's pretty good.
is it?
Like if you're gonna get a chirashi bowl or something, yeah, go there and get it. Yeah, I think that'll be pretty good.
Mm,
Quality wise, good.
quality was good.
Yeah,
Okay,
for
okay,
sure. Yeah, that's a good one.
interesting. Like I don't know. Yeah, going back to this like art recession, like
Yeah,
yeah, everything is you know like it just feels weird.
yeah,
Everything
right.
feels
I
so
can't put my
weird.
finger on it either, but yeah, there's a weird because I think I'm used to seeing people walk in and look more at the art, and they look at the art, but they're not looking at the prices. You know what I mean? They're just like I kind of get it, but they're it's like as if they're going through the motions of what they were doing, but then they're not. They're not remotely. It seems like they're not picking up the price sheet. You know what I mean? To look, they're just kind of going, "No, that's nice," and then they're not. And
Mm.
I understand if they can't do it, but I don't know. There's a weird feeling, and I'm not quite sure
What's
what
your next?
that is.
I mean, you just had an opening, but like you're
We have
around
a we have
best.
yeah we have another we have Susie Garamani. Do you remember her? She's been in a lot of GR shows, and she was avid kind of like a reader of Giant Robot magazine. So
Oh,
we have a show with Susie. She does a lot of illustration and children's books. So we have kind of a show like that with
oh,
her.
cool.
Yeah, yeah, and she's gonna sign children's books. She and her mother released a book,
Oh no way.
a children's book. Yeah, so we'll have her signing children's books and having her art on the wall. And it's one of those things where it's like, no, she's an old friend, and I'm
I
happy to do that.
see a lot of I remember like maybe 10 years ago or so, or maybe even 15 years ago or so, like all these artists were like doing children's books, and it was so cringe simply because of the fact that like people think to themselves, oh, it's a children's book, oh, easy peasy, right? But like because it's for like kids, but it's not that easy. Like
I don't think so. Yeah,
the art of crafting any kind of written word is not something that should be taken lightly, especially
I
going to
yeah
publishing.
yeah, I think so. But
And
I think there's a lot of like indie published ones, and then there's ones that are published by bigger, like major publishers.
right,
They have to have. I mean, I would assume the major publishers know what they're doing and have like bullshit meters out there.
mhm,
I would hope so, but yeah. But usually, I think from what I understand, usually it's not just the artist that's writing it, right? Sometimes they're paired with actually a writer of a children's book. That's what I'm noticing.
mhm,
So a lot of Susie's books were done with actual another writer who writes it, and you'd think, wow, you need a writer for a children's book, which sounds like you could just make it up on the fly. But no, there's professional writers that do that, and they can't draw,
right.
and then they get artists to do the drawing.
We're not all Dr.
So
Seuss.
yeah. Oh man. Then like think Dr. Seuss. Then there's a level up. Shel Silverstein. I mean, all there's the classics. They're genius.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. No, they can't take that shit lightly.
uh,
All that stuff.
yeah.
Maury Sendak.
I don't. I honestly, I've never paid any attention to any of that. I barely read at all.
No,
So
I understand, but some of them don't have a lot of words, like one, but I get it.
yeah,
It's some heavy shit. It matters. It matters.
it does matter.
Um,
Does matter.
Yeah. Yeah. But there are some children's books that are sort of geared, like it's called a children's book, but it's kind of geared toward adults. There is that.
Yeah, it's funny.
So,
I was digging through some stuff and I found this copy of a children's book. I'm doing air quotes. That Mark Ryden and Marion Peck
oh wow.
put together, and it was actually all like photography. It wasn't even really like illustrated. And these had like all the like like kind of like a raggedy like girl, a bear, and like a teddy bear, and then like some other kind of weird plush like having a picnic, and then like a genie shows up or something and showers them with candy, and then they like eat all the candy until they puke, and like they're like, oh, I feel like I'm dying, and then like they recover and they go back at it again. and
Okay.
and I was just like, oh, that was cute. And it's obviously done in the children's book style. But it was more just kind of like, it's obviously, a message for adults about whatchamacallit, gluttony. So
Damn.
anyways,
Wow. Sounds cool. So when are we going to podcast next?
I would ideally like to try and do this in a week or two from now.
Okay.
Or what we should do is, so if you're listening to the podcast, the week 4th of July, you know that this weekend is also Anime Expo weekend.
Whoa.
And I've got a badge for it. And I might be able to hook you up, Eric, with a badge.
Sunday, as you said, Sunday sounds
At
like sounds fun to
Sunday.
me.
So maybe we should go and then we could report in. Or we could do it, or we could do an IG live.
Ooh. Yes.
And just kind of like make our way through, look at the artist alley. We could go head hunting for some artists for the gallery.
Oh, okay. That's important. Okay, we're going. Anyways, sounds good. So that sounds fun. Maybe we do that next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Next Wednesday.
Yeah, let's shoot for next Wednesday.
Okay, let's shoot for next Wednesday.
Let's shoot for Wednesday.
2 weeks in a row. Can you handle it?
Let's see if we could do this. I think we could do this,
Okay.
Eric. I know, like
If we keep it simple, we can do it.
Yeah. And I think we're just about hitting the 1 hour mark.
No, we've hit it.
Yeah. So let's wrap it up and let's talk next week.
Alrighty.
So,
Okay, everybody. This is Robot and the Bear. I think this is episode 87. I think it's 87.
Oh wow! I stopped counting. The numbers
Yeah.
got too high. I couldn't count it with my digits anymore. So,
Oh, awesome.
the irregularity like made me lose count, Eric. But
that is a fact.
let's call this 87, and then like next week there'll be the auspicious
88. Okay. Awesome, man. Take care.
Alrighty. Hey,
All right.
you guys have a good night. Thank you.